Hi, I'm Sheriff Kevin Rambosk, and I want to welcome you to On Scene.
Do the Right Thing program was adopted back in 1998 by former Sheriff Don Hunter. This program originally started in the city of Miami on the police department. And here in Collier County, we recognize those students who go above and beyond the call of duty. Those boys and girls that exhibit exemplary behavior. It could be anything from finding a wallet with a large amount of cash and turning it into a trusted adult, or it could be somebody that does a fundraiser just because they want to raise money for a good cause. These boys and girls are awarded every single month from the Collier County Sheriff's Office. We're a nonprofit organization, and we're out there to recognize those boys and girls in all the schools in Collier County for doing the right thing.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here today. This is very important to recognize our young people for doing the right thing. And I am particularly happy that this is one of the nicest things I get to do any given month. So it's very nice to be here with you and your children. Pleasure to be here. About 4 years ago, I had the opportunity to sit where you are and had one of my sons was receiving the award. Went back to the bank and said, you know, this is a program we need to support. And 3 years later, we've been a proud contributor and thrilled to be a part of the Do the Right Thing program. And for the kids, it's a lesson because if you speak up, you might have to be in front of a microphone or you're sitting up on the stage. So I congratulate you guys for doing the right thing. I'm always amazed at the diversity of the stories that you hear. Everything from something straightforward where it's a computer or a telephone that's turned in to very mature and complex situations that Ryan and Lindsay have to deal with. But what they all have in common, and really just a few things, is that they support the classroom. They help the peers in their classroom see what these young men and women are doing, and it sets a wonderful example. It's also a great example for the school because again, you have the peer pressure and they see these kids making good decisions, and it supports the fabric of our school system and ultimately betters our community. The other thing that I think is wonderful, and the one thing that we applaud, is that it shows these kids that there's a softer side to the sheriff's department. It's not just about guns and handcuffs, although they all have them on. It's also about them supporting you now and actually throughout your life. So TIB Bank is pleased that this is a wonderful program that is so supportive of our children and sets a wonderful example and hopefully begins a tone that they can take for years to come. And while the stories are all touching, when you read them, it always warms your heart. And it's so cold in this room, it's a good thing. But they're all touching, but one stood out a little bit more this month. And Lindsay, if you'll join me on stage. And On behalf of TIB Bank, we wanted to award Lindsay with a $100 student savings account as a way to say congratulations.
Are you uncomfortable calling the sheriff's office about that suspicious person who's dressed in dark clothing cutting through the backyard of your neighbor's house in the middle of the night? Well, don't be. Crime prevention is everyone's business. Lower crime rate in Collier is no accident, and we recognize the importance of involving you to help us keep this community ranked as one of the safest in Florida. We work hard, but we can't do it by ourselves. We need your help, and your part is as easy as including basic crime prevention into your everyday routine. Follow crime prevention tips and report all suspicious activity to the sheriff's office. Together, we will continue to keep Collier a great place and a safe place. Sheriff's office reports still show a large percentage of people not locking their doors. Don't make it easy for a criminal. What you may think is a simple act of leaving your cell phone on your car passenger seat is a bonus to a passing criminal who sees profit from your cell phone for their unlawful activity. Securing your belongings is a common sense measure, so why don't you pledge to do your part today?
Hi, my name is Detective William Still with the Collier County Sheriff's Office and Major Crimes Bureau. Here today to talk to you for a few minutes about a case from 2008 involving a gentleman by the name of Charles Black. This is a homicide case that was presented to the Sheriff's Office on February the 14th of 2008, and it involved a victim from the east coast of Florida who ended up in Collier County as a deceased person. On February 14th of 08, a passerby was traveling near the Miccosukee Reservation off of I-75 between Broward and Collier counties. And during the conduct of his traveling along the road, he observed something suspicious along the side of the road. There's a large canal system out in this area, the L-28 canal, and the person that was our witness/reporter investigated a large gathering of birds, and he thought there may have been an animal in the area, and it was actually turned out to be Mr. Black. Our investigators responded to the scene, myself included. We were able to determine that Mr. Black was in fact deceased, that someone had apparently killed him at another location and brought his remains out to the location where he was dumped along the L-28 canal. Subsequent investigation over the next several weeks revealed that Mr. Black was somewhat of a loner. He resided over in the Sunrise community in Broward County, and he had no immediate family members living with him or anyone that was really close to him. Our investigative activity involved a number of aspects on this case. Initially, we responded over to the Sunrise community and located Mr. Black's residence. There were search warrants executed and scene searches were conducted. During the course of this activity, we were able to determine that his residence was not the place that he was killed. We were able to determine that he was, from neighbors, we were able to determine that he was involved with some of the criminal activity and criminal elements over on the Sunrise area. This involved some prostitution and drug usage. There's no evidence to indicate that he was actually providing any of these services. He was more of a consumer and run with the crowd over in that area, street people, on a regular basis. We were also able to determine that he had no means of transportation other than the public transportation system. So his being brought over to Collier County and left in our area is indicative of the person or persons responsible for his death having picked him up and provided him, at least at some point, transportation before he was murdered and brought over to our area. During the course of our investigation, we did establish that Mr. Black had family members that are still alive and in the Fort Lauderdale area. We were also able to locate his mother up in New York and learned that even though he had somewhat of a colorful lifestyle, that the family did very much love him and care about him and are concerned about finding out who was responsible for his death. We are seeking any information from persons over in the East Coast area that may have known Mr. Black, that may have frequented some of these establishments with him or befriended him. He was very noticeable. Mr. Black was a very large Jamaican male. He had a cyst on the top of his head that made him kind of stand out from the crowd. He was someone that you would notice. If you have any information about Mr. Black at all, whether it be concerning this incident specifically, or if you have knowledge of him on a social basis or had any kind of time spent with him preceding his death, please contact the Collier County Sheriff's Office at 252-9300. Thank you.
My name is Corporal Richard Counsel with the Collier County Sheriff's Office, Youth Relations Bureau. I'm here today to talk to you about bicycle safety and the proper way to use crosswalks. Always wear a safety helmet before getting on your bicycle. Never use cell phones or other electronic devices while riding your bicycle. Always follow the crossing guard's instructions. For your safety, never cross in unmarked areas. Use designated crosswalks. Always walk your bicycle through the crosswalk. Use caution while riding your bicycle on the sidewalk. When approaching a stop sign or a red light, always stop and look both ways. We want to make sure all bicycle riders and walkers obey these simple rules. Our goal is your safety.
We hope you've enjoyed our program, and we look forward to seeing you next month. Thank you for being our partner for a safe community.